All right, parents, we're just a few days into the new year, right? And so many of us have so many goals that we're trying to achieve. One of those, probably eating a little healthier, right? So then you've come to the right place right here, because we have dietitian and nutritionist Gisela Bouvier here with us this morning, showing us how we can really kick off the year much more healthy and better for us. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And I mean, a lot of us do, that is one of our resolutions. We all want to eat a little better, maybe a little bit less fast food. How often are you hearing that this is maybe their number one resolution?
Well, I think that after the holidays, people are kind of exhausted from eating. We're around a lot of food and people feel the need to kind of reset. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Going back into our regular routines and our lifestyle and going back to nutrient-dense foods. The problem is with New Year's resolutions, especially when it comes to nutrition, is that people kind of go to extreme. They want to eliminate everything that they enjoy or certain food groups. And is that really setting us up for, long-term success? Likely not.
No, it gets more exhausting, especially if you just cut everything out all at once.
Exactly.
Okay, so I mean, that's probably a really good segue into this question, because what's the one resolution you wish people would stop doing altogether? Is it that, or is it finding those fad diets?
So I think that people should stop focusing on what to remove from their diet and focus on what they can add in. And that looks different for everybody, not just diet, just overall health and wellness. Let's say, you tend to eat breaded chicken and potatoes and corn often. Those are all similar colors. So a great tool would be to maybe have a goal of 2 colors on the plate, right, at dinner every day. Because the more colors we have, the more nutrient diversity, right? Or maybe you don't drink enough water. And so it's like one goal is I'm going to add 2 extra cups of water a day. And so these smart goals are going to really set you up for long-term success. Maybe you want to make it a goal of not eating at your desk or in front of the TV, right? So that we're able to reconnect with our hunger and fullness cues, our instincts, so that we can really know when we're hungry, when we're full. And that's what's dictating actually how much nutrition we need at that moment.
I feel like that was a little bit of an attack, because in the newsroom, that's all we're doing is in front of a TV or at our desks eating. What are some foods that we maybe should be leaning into as we're starting off the new year?
So I look at diets, for example, the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet, which is the dietary approach to stop hypertension, which is a low sodium diet, or the MIND diet, which really focuses on antioxidant-rich foods for the brain health. So looking at foods, these types of diets are actually very beneficial in the sense that really focus on plant foods, right? Fruits and vegetables, legumes, whole grains, always important to add. And then, bringing that with lean proteins. If you're vegetarian, finding protein-rich plant foods like soy, right, beans, things like that. And then really looking at low-fat dairy, and as well as those heart-healthy fats like nuts and seeds and avocados, and really bringing a combination of foods that are going to make you feel good, right? Really, really important. And so for me, that's the way I look at it as a dietitian, is like, okay, what can you do that's going to set you up for success? If you are hyper focusing on things that you shouldn't eat, are you not focusing on enough of what you can add? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. So being the beginning of the year, especially for you as a dietitian, we were talking about this a moment ago. How busy do you get? I mean, this is obviously, kind of forefront of everyone's mind, throughout the year. I mean, this is not something that's just like we start off at the beginning of the year. This is something you should keep going with your nutrition.
Exactly. A lot of people kind of want to go overhaul. And so the first 2 or 3 weeks of January, and then by then they're exhausted. You even see it in gyms, right? People want to okay, I'm going to get back into my fitness routine, and by the 3rd week of January, it's like back to
they're done.
Exactly. And so it's an overhaul, and unfortunately now with social media, there's so many ads too that are kind of making people feel guilty about maybe wanting to make a little bit of change on the health journey, or making them feel like they have to fully overhaul it.
Do so much more.
Exactly. And you don't need to do that, right? I do recommend working with a dietitian, right, to help you set your diet goals, and also really focus on your lifestyle, right? Is it going to overhaul and not be adaptive or sustainable to your lifestyle? If that's the case, then it's not the approach for you.
Diet is so important to be paying attention to, especially on, you need to be careful what you're looking at on social media, but where can we find you if we do want to maybe get some tips from you?
Absolutely. Go to GiselaBouvier.com, or on Instagram, go to nourish.con.Gisela.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gisela, for being with us. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to your resolutions right there. I hope you can eat a little better too.